This government is waging a war against work. It is trapping people in poverty. According to a report from the Finance Minister Department obtained by a journalist, a single mother earning $30,000 a year would lose about 70 cents for each additional dollar earned. So, for example, if she earns $55,000, she would actually lose 80 cents on the dollar. And it is the people with the least money who end up losing the most. Why is this government penalizing people who are just trying to work to get away from their situation of poverty? The Honourable Minister.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. I never thought I'd see one on the floor of the House of Commons. The reality is, when we put forward measures to actually cut taxes for the middle class and raise taxes on the wealthiest 1%, that member voted against it. When we changed the Canada Child Benefit to put more money in the pockets out of middle class families and stop sending child care checks to millionaires, that member voted against it. And with respect to the measures we put forward in this pandemic to ensure that middle class and low income families could keep food on the table and a roof over their heads, that member stepped up to the microphone and said an approach of big fat government programs wouldn't help Canadians. Those workers deserve to know that their government will have their backs, and that's precisely what we're going to do.
L'honorable député de Carleton.
Well, that member is a sheep in wolf's clothing. Oh. But, Mr. Speaker, speaking of creatures that don't actually exist, you know, he speaks about this so-called middle-class tax cut. Well, the report from the Finance Department says that its effects are, quote, difficult to spot. So it's kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. Big, notorious, spoken of often, but no evidence it actually exists. Now, Mr. Speaker, what the report does say is that when poor people in this country get up and go to work, this government takes more in clawbacks and taxes than they're allowed to keep of that extra Canadian dollar. Why are they punishing work?